Mercury session.
Lucy, can you be the timekeeper if you like?
Are you talking to Lucy or me or?
Lucy. Because I filled in for facilitator, note taking. I'm not very much good into it, so.
Okay. Well, I mean, right now there's only 3 of us, so I think we're okay.
I'm taking notes.
Okay, great, thank you. And timekeeping.
Okay, you can write timekeeping, but I'm not good in timekeeping.
Somehow I will help you with that. Video indexer, I think J. And let's talk about Lucy. I and you will do session value tracking after the session, okay?
Okay.
Although it will be easy if we will continue as a 3 persons, it will be very easy. All right, so
Okay.
I think that's it.
Alright, so I got the recording started.
I think we are a little bit done with the positions. Jay, we have to go for evaluation for 5 minutes as well.
I think that would be skipping a step. So,
hello guys. Hi Jay.
Oh, nice. Abdul.
Hi Abdul.
Hi everybody. Hi Lucy. How are you?
Hi, Abdul.
Abdul, would you like to help with the video indexing?
Yeah, Jay, I can help on that.
All right. So, so I think right. The next part is checking in. You want to lead us through check-ins, Asif?
Yeah, sure, Jay. Good afternoon over here, and start our Mercury session. So please, can we just quickly go for the check-ins? Lucy, can you check in, please?
One second.
Lucy, you're on mute. Okay, no worries. Abdul, can you check in quickly, please?
Yeah. Hello guys. I'm pretty good today, but my connection is not good here. I'm at 6.5 today.
Okay, go to Jay, please.
Well, I am doing okay. It's definitely in the middle of the night again, around 2 a.m. So night 2x. And I'm pretty tired. Maybe I'm like at 4. But I'm happy.
I'll be back in 1 minute, just 1 minute.
I'm happy to be here. So hopefully we can get focused and get through what we need to get through. Did we get Lucy checked in?
Okay. Hi guys.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for today. I'm at 6.
Great, Lucy. Okay, so yeah, guys, I have recovered from my, illness right now. I was having a flu, but I'm okay to join the session. Feeling good now, and I'm at 7 today. Oh, probably 6.5. Sorry.
What was Abdul? What was your number again? I missed that.
6.5.
All right, so the next step here is our evaluation and prioritization. So and then because it's the Mercury session, it's also going to be reporting. So evaluation, prioritization, and reporting. So there's definitely some things we need to go through here so that we do all this correctly. So we should check to see if we have a prioritization spreadsheet. We need the link to the evaluation form. And then we need to know what the positions are that need reporting. All the manager positions are supposed to report to the management team, which is the Mercury session. It's every 1.5 months, about. I think it's 44 days. And also I'm adding a new component to our agenda, which is our priority policies. So we can track all of our policies as well as tasks, responsibilities, projects. And then also for today, we also have priority positions because it's the management session. Although usually we don't track priority positions or really priority projects because they're just so big that it's not really. We mainly just track responsibilities and tasks. Also, does anyone know if today's the Perlion or the Aphelion?
Come up again.
It would be good to know whether today is the Aphelion or the Perlion. I'll just add it to our policies. No. So does everyone understand what's going on right now? Maybe we should do each one of these separately.
I think everyone knows about maybe planetary session.
Okay, but we don't have the links though, so that's a problem.
Oh, let me look for they're always on calendar scheduling. They're there.
So, but maybe we can go through.
Salary 23rd, 382 each.
I would.
On calendar and scheduling, you can get them there. Planetary sessions. I'm looking for it. I know that there.
So.
I'm usually working on them.
So I would also recommend to us that we take 5 minutes for each one of these. Who's our timekeeper?
Timekeeper.
Yes.
Okay.
It's me, Lucy and Asif.
Okay, so maybe.
Asif, you will have.
Yeah, sure.
So
natural planetary schedule. That's it.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I would recommend that maybe we take 5 minutes on each of these and make sure that we complete each one. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Can I put the link for planetary session there?
What are you linking? I don't understand.
I think you're asking about planetary sessions.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So the task that we need is we need the
But I just see priority must know planetary session. Okay.
We need the prioritization spreadsheet, and we need the link to the first general evaluation spreadsheet. And then we also need the selling date.
Oh, selling date, I will get that. Selling date, doc, right?
No, I just said we need the selling date.
Selling date.
As of today, I can see salinity date 23/3/83 East.
Where is selling date on my door? I don't see it there. You already confirmed as if so no need of me searching for that. Right?
Say what?
I said as if already confirmed that, right?
Confirmed what?
Selling date.
Okay, what is it then? Why don't we write it down instead of saying that it was confirmed if it's not there? Like, we need to verify things and add them to the date. It should just be there. It's just, you're telling me that it's been confirmed, but it's not there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's there now. Salinity date. It's 23/3/82 East.
Thank you. Cool. And then it's also at the top. Okay, so again, my proposal is that we spend 5 minutes on each of these 3 items: prioritization, evaluation, and reporting. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, you can go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's focus just on prioritization, okay?
Okay.
So what we need for prioritization is we need our prioritization spreadsheet for the Mercury management team, which I don't believe we have yet. So let's see if we go to the top here, we should be able to go to the management team doc.
Can I create one?
I'm going to the management team doc
Yeah.
to find the, there it is, it's right here. Yeah, it's a global management team prioritization spreadsheet. So it's just a matter of going to the doc and getting it. It's not complicated, guys. Come on, just get focused here. Right? Global management
I'm
team.
already linking there and checked prioritization spreadsheet for the management team.
Where?
In our today's doc.
Where?
Okay, you can check the Hangout.
What? Just tell me where you linked it.
Hangout, and I also link in our today's doc.
I think you link on prioritization task.
Oh, you linked it. You linked it down on the group team goals and priorities, right?
Okay.
Is that where you linked it? Is that where you linked it, Abdul?
Abdul.
Group team. Okay, just wait.
Hello, Abdul. Did you link the global management team positions and prioritization spreadsheet under the group team goals and priorities section?
Okay, I understand. I will do that.
No, I'm not asking you to do something. I'm asking you if you linked this here under the team goals and priorities page. Is that where you linked it?
No.
I think it's the one.
Where did you link it?
I link on priority task.
You linked,
that is the one Jay asking about.
You linked under priority tasks?
Yeah, this is the one.
All right, so we go to priority tasks. It says prioritization spreadsheet. Yeah, this is correct. So now we are in the 136, so we're going to duplicate it. And make one for 136° west, okay?
Okay.
And this is one of the most important things that would happen at the 8th moon session is getting our prioritization spreadsheet organized. Additionally, we also need an internal, our internal prioritization. So that also needs to be created. So should I do that, or can someone else help make that happen, or what do you guys want to do with that? Or do you guys want to skip it? I like it, Shigimi. Shigimi, want to check in? Shigimi, you there?
Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. You want to check in?
Yeah. Hi guys. Doing good today. I'm looking forward to a productive discussion. I'm at 6 today. Thank you.
Cool. So let's make sure we get Shigimi's. What is? Oh, okay. Let's make sure we get Shigimi's check-in in the notes. Cool. Thank you, whoever's doing notes. That's perfect. Steve's disconnected. He'll be back soon. That's fine. Okay, so right now, Shigimi, we are working on prioritization, evaluation, and reporting. And so we're doing 5 minutes on prioritization, which is what we're focusing on now. Although I'm not sure how we're on time right now. I don't know.
Shigimi, you are at what? We have 2 minutes left for that, Jeff.
Okay.
Shigimi, you are at what? Okay, let's go.
I'm at 6. Yeah, I'm at 6.
Okay. So where are we? So we need to vote on all of the management positions. So I think that should be our focus here for the next little bit, is getting all these positions organized and voted on. We're supposed to do this in 2 minutes. I think we might need to extend time a little bit.
Okay, you need us to do voting or not, Jeff? Priorities?
Yeah, we also need to create the internal team setup, which we haven't done yet.
We are voting for 136 degrees west. Okay, good. Exact payroll? I think we don't have exact payroll now. exact coordination, no. Oh. Jay, why don't we remove thing to do the exa or put it on a different spreadsheet?
Please. Don't ask me, just let's get it done. We don't need any of these things. They don't exist anymore.
Exa support, even I delete that, right? Exa support, you don't know.
No, that one's fine.
Okay. What about umbrella exa coordinator? I think we don't need that.
No, we don't need that. We do need the legal admin. This would be Rico. Legal admin. Legal.
What about exhalation? Do you need that?
Nope.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Exadmin support client. Do you need that also?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Shigemi.
Yes, I do.
Kindly check the Hangout. Linking there. The prioritization.
Yeah.
And you need to put on that 136 degree.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
What about the accounting finance manager? I think we don't need this, Jay.
What is it?
Accounting and finance manager.
Yeah, I think we can get rid of that.
Can get out this one. No need this. Mm-hmm. Each section managers, I think we need to change to Octane.
I tried.
Octane instead of sector. Octane cinnamon. But you already have it up there, let's see. We have there and we have down. I will delete the down. I'll delete number 26.
We still need to know whether today is a perihelion or an aphelion. Did anyone ever find that out?
Finding what?
Whether today is an aphelion or a perihelion session.
Okay, let me find out. Just a minute.
1 minute over the topic.
1 minute over our prioritization?
1 minute over our prioritization.
Okay.
Just a minute. I want to check the calendar. I feel perihelion.
Perihelion.
Perihelion. Perihelion.
So did you say today's the perihelion?
Yeah.
Perihelion, yeah.
Okay. So that's important because that means today is like the main session. So the perihelion is more important than the aphelion. It means we need to focus on our prioritization and our goals for sure.
What about Zakari Client Manager? Do you still have Zakari?
We still have what?
Zakari Client Manager.
Yeah.
Is it not under exam?
Yeah, we can keep that.
Okay.
We are 3 minutes over the prioritization topic.
So do you guys think we should stop or should we keep going?
I mean, I finished for voting.
Well, you could go under
Yeah,
evaluation and
we-
reporting if you want to. So evaluation and reporting is also important. You have more time for that.
Evaluation or reporting.
Shigemi is not work. What?
What?
Shigemi is not voting.
Well, there's a lot of
She's not
votes.
voting.
There's a lot of votes in her category, in her column.
Yeah. I'm just I'm just not doing it one by one.
Yeah,
I mean, in chronological in order, yeah.
Yeah, you can skip anything you don't know. You don't have to vote on everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Thanks.
So a lot of this should have already been done ahead of time. You know, so we're you know, losing time here because we're not organized as we should be.
I'm done with the voting.
Exactly 5 minutes over the topic.
Okay, well, we can get started on our evaluations and reporting. Okay.
Yeah. What is evaluation general evaluation spreadsheet? Does someone know that?
I think I might have it. Let's see if I can find it. I found it, yeah. All right, I linked it into the document.
Okay.
Jay, can I ask
Huh?
one thing, please?
Yeah.
What does this score means over here? Is it a self-evaluation score?
Uh-huh.
If you see E column, there's a written score. So this will be self-evaluation score, right?
Uh-huh, yeah. All right, so I'm pretty good on the evaluations. Are there any questions about the evaluations? Any other questions about it?
Not from my side.
No questions, Jay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get focused here. So I think it's really good to spend the time doing the prioritization, the evaluation. Oh, we're doing reporting still. So
We are 4 minutes on the topic evaluation.
all right, well, we're going on to reporting. So with the reporting, we need to know what the current positions are. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get reports. So, Asif, what's your main position?
Investor coordinator.
Investor relations coordinator.
Well, I just want to have a desired outcome later on, but yeah.
I don't understand. They're reporting what now?
So this is when you do your management position reporting. So Lucy, what's your main position?
Tactical coordinator.
I think it's a manager. Okay, so the policy, just to remind everyone, policy is that for the Mercury session, all managers are required to submit reports. Okay. So we're going to take a couple minutes here. We have 2 or 3 minutes. So each of us should be writing down our reports. You know, just some bullet points. You know, so this could be just like, you know, simple list of bullet points. You know, maybe one paragraph, and most importantly, it's still you need a score, 0 to 9. You know, but it could be less than half a page. You know, it could be like a quarter page. It doesn't need to be anything substantial, right? I mean, people don't have time to read, you know, 100 different reports. Okay, just like a quick report back on the status of your project or work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hey, Lucy, I'm also going to add plasma to yours. That's so important, okay?
Yeah. comment on that.
All right, so just a couple more minutes to finish up your report, and then we will go from there.
I'm finished with the reporting and 5 minutes on the topic.
Time is over for that.
Cool. All right. So I created the first reporting document so you can copy and paste your reports into here. And make sure your reports are in the context of your position and not yourself, because that what matters is the position and the work, not the person. Okay.
So are we now? Can you able to read, or we just copy paste there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it linked. It's not.
Or you can allow us to read maybe, so that you correct us. So that next time we might not do. We learn how to report on our work.
Yeah, and you also just learn by reading other people's reports, and we'll get better at it. But just make sure you have a score. Bullet points, paragraph. Really short.
Yeah, I just give mine really one paragraph.
So did everyone get the link to the reporting doc?
No, I did not.
All right, I'm
I
also
can
gonna
see.
also put it in our
I
Hangout.
can see you put it there.
Got it, yeah.
Cool. So I'll add it to our Hangout as well. And then we might as well also first management report. Cool. And then I'm also just gonna throw it up on Skype. Mercury session.
Oh, let me copy the doc.
So I'm thinking of the penalty for not reporting your management work would be 1 to 2 days of work that would be cut from your budget. Does that sound about right?
Penalty in which sense, Ajay? Can you please elaborate?
So the policy is that every manager needs to report once a month or once every month and a half, right, for the Mercury session. And if you don't do a report, then you would be cut a day's work, or even 2 days work, 1 or 2 days work. Does that make sense?
I think that's a good move, and we should go for it. Yeah, no worries.
Well, it's part of our new
Okay,
policy.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that mean all the positions someone take, you need to make a report on that? There's a big position that you need to report.
It means that every manager is responsible for reporting for their most important position.
That's great.
Does that make sense?
Yes. That will help us to improve.
Accountability for not meeting this policy is 2 days work. Okay. So that is a good start. So anyways, with our new policy, actually we need to vote on that policy. We'll talk more again about it, but with our new policy that we voted on at the quarter moon, every single policy is going to have a loss of value or a gain of value. So if you do your report, then you gain value. If you don't do it, you lose value.
You can copy this onto your position, guys. On position doc, every position doc has the doc. There is a place you can put the note. You put this note in separate.
What are you talking about?
On position doc, there is a doc for every position that someone can put what it does in the evaluation also.
Sure, you can describe it and note the evaluations or the reports for that particular position. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So anyways, as you guys see, following the policies and getting organized as a team, it takes effort, right? So we just spent an hour doing our prioritization, evaluation, and reporting, but we were probably more efficient, effective, and organized as a team by working for the last hour in, primarily in silence than we would be blabbering about one thing or another, So we actually produced output. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was really good. So I think now we're ready for our desired outcomes and our topics. And we can go from there. So desired outcomes are to obviously to move forward with our policies and procedures. Accountability policy. And also to focus on management work for the Mercury session. Any other desired outcomes? Maybe go through priority management positions. Are there any other desired outcomes? So, one policy that we missed is our, oops, where are the policies? We also have a new position here. So we need to add the new position, the task, add new policy keeper position. Do template notes. So the policy that we missed was our team setup prioritization. So one thing that we could do is just use our global prioritization, global core team prioritization spreadsheet. Oh, and then another important desired outcome would be to establish our management goals for the next 44 days, 1.5 months. I think that's it, because this is the brilliant session and this is the time to do that. So I think this is really important. And we got a good start on that, but we should continue.
So shall we move to our priority focus, priority topics now?
Yeah. So are there any other topics?
I want to discuss about my role and my position in FQN right now. Okay, I just have some couple of suggestions. For my side, it's my personal, so I will just discuss.
Can we discuss about the review of certain goals? Yeah? Certain session goals.
Well,
I think it's not really also goals. We need also how to reach people? Which platform can we use to reach people to come for that day?
Cool, but we can talk about that in terms of the Saturn session. That's fine. So let's go back to Asif. Asif, if we just review the general manager position, does that address your question, or is it something specific to your role, or is it specific to the investor relations role, or what is it?
It is, about my role, my investor relations coordinator role.
So it is investor relations. Okay.
And it will not take more than 5 minutes.
All right. So if we were following our policies, which we're not, so we should be potentially. I mean, I think we're kind of even on the policies we're following and what we're not following. But if we were following our policies, we would have our agenda set up based on our prioritization, which would make it really easy and simple. We do have our management goals and priorities voted on, and so we do have a prioritization there that we can start using. Do we want to go over what the Mercury session is and review the general manager position, or do people feel like that's pretty good already? They're good on that.
I think we should spend only 5 minutes on that, not more than that, just for a refresher.
Yeah, maybe just a quick one.
Yeah, just a refresh.
On the general manager position?
The Mercury session.
Well, the Mercury session's already 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we need to do, we need to follow the policies. We need to create the prioritization spreadsheet. Let's at least get started with that. So here is the internal team setup, and we can add that to the management team spreadsheet. Cool. So hopefully next time we can get our internal team setup prioritized so that we have a plan. But I think overall, we should just, I think we're all okay just focusing on the management stuff and not worrying too much about everything else. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
So if we focus on the management, what we have here, and I'm adding a couple things on the bottom here, the public launch man, the Saturn session manager. So I'm gonna bring the Saturn session manager up. Public launch manager. I don't think that's gonna be as important, and we'll talk more about that. So reevaluate here. So everyone can update their votes and everything, but our number one position is the worker coordinator position, right? So if worker coordination is the number one position that we all prioritize, then our first topic should be worker coordination. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we would talk about that for 5 to 15 minutes or so. In relationship to our team goals and management priorities as we're planning, once we go through this, we want that each of our top priority positions should have a goal. Okay, So let's make sure the goals are clear for all these. So then the second one might be the Saturn session manager, although we should get someone else voting on this to see if that's really going to be that high. Saturn session manager.
I think Saturn is under Plasma. Do we still have?
No, Plasmo is totally different, and Plasmo did not get prioritized. Plasmo coordination is number 30. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're going to be talking about Plasmo today, unless someone wants to prioritize that higher. Yeah. All right, so if people could vote on the Saturn session manager position so that we can get that better prioritized. So Saturn sessions would be session support. Client relations coordinator is currently number 3. How long do we think we need on that? Client relations coordinator. 5 to 10 minutes, maybe?
5 to 10 minutes, yeah.
And that would be part of investor relations.
Yes.
Jorge entities client manager. That's primarily finances. But that would be the next one. Jorge entities client manager. And systems and processes coordinator. Systems and processes coordinator. So for me, that's the most important one. I think we could probably do Jorge entities in like 5 minutes since I was really here. So anyways, that's the top 5. I think the top 5 is pretty good. Okay, I mean, maybe we'd be able to get through a couple more depending on how organized we are, but we already spent an hour and we want to wrap up as well. So is anyone planning on voting anymore, updating any of their votes, or does this sound good or what?
For me, it sounds good.
Voting for what again? I think this
Very good. All right, cool. Awesome. So any objections to our topics and desired outcomes?
No objection from me.
Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to get started. So the first part is our group and team setup.
Saturn manager is a new position, right? I need to copy to the position doc.
Yes. Yes. But it's part of session support. So the session support coordinator would be,
Okay.
I don't know if we have session support coordinator in here. Session support.
Let
Oh, no,
me
it's in there. Yeah.
check.
Session support coordinator is in there. Cool. All right, so back to our group team setup. So we should be doing, this is where we should be doing our team setup verification spreadsheet, right? I don't know if we even have one for the management team. So this is a very important, and this is also a priority policy, right? So this would be team setup verification spreadsheet. We need to make sure to do that. Also, one of the things that we completed is we completed our well, that's not really, we didn't really complete anything. Yeah, all right.
Jay, is it possible to share your screen for by please?
Am I not sharing? Whoops. Oh, and I also want to make sure we cover the new position and the new proposal. So external client update management. Let me pop it right here. So policy keeper and accountability proposal from Quarterman. Pretty quick. All right. So does anyone want to check in on our team setup verification spreadsheet, or do we want to just skip that?
We have to create one, so I think as of now we can skip to our next topic.
Are you sure? Are you sure we have to create one? It's right here, Global Management Team Setup Verification Spreadsheet.
Global.
So, so I just made sure that, you got to verify things. You know what I mean? You can't just like say things without knowing, right? So the global management teams there. So if we either want to skip it or we want to just deal with it and make sure we get our team set up properly.
You can skip that.
Okay. And so just so you guys know, we'll go through the policy in a little bit. All right. What is the Mercury session?
Mercury session is management session.
Okay, and what is management?
The decision makers, the policy makers.
So decision policy makers are the executives and board. Right, so the executive team and the board would be the decision makers and policy makers. The management is more of the people who carry out the plans and implementation. Right? And so what do the managers do? What does the manager do?
Managers assign their work to, assign the work to workers to get the work done.
Okay.
The work of manager is to make sure the system and processing and other works are running well.
Yes, and
all work done accordingly.
Excellent. And our managers responsible for getting the work done. Our managers responsible for getting the work done.
Right.
It's a question. It's a yes or no question. Are the managers responsible for getting the work done?
Yes, they are.
No.
Following up on people. For example, like the way Daisy doing for payroll, you need to follow up. It's not, you're not the one to work. Sometimes you can assign people or you can just make sure that the work is done.
So is following up with someone doing the work themselves?
For me, the managers are not responsible to get work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're responsible, but they're not the one doing it.
Exactly, right? So if you're not doing the work, you can't be responsible for it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So managers have oversight, and help with accountability. Right? So therefore, what is the number one most important thing that a manager does and what we just did during the Mercury session?
Checking on what is accomplished.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So can you say it one more time? Lucy?
Checking on what is accomplished.
So you check in on what was and what is not accomplished, right? So and then you report back to the management team on the current status of the work. All right. So the manager, the most important work that a manager does is they report back on the current status of the work. So the manager is responsible for saying either one, the work is going well, everything's getting completed, or two, nothing's getting done, it's not getting completed, it's complete disaster. But the manager must report either way, regardless of whether the work is getting done. That is their responsibility, right? So the manager comes and tells the group, tells the team, the work's not getting done, everything's a complete disaster. They are not responsible for getting the work done. They're just responsible for letting everybody know that the work is not getting done and holding everyone accountable to the fact that it's not getting done. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's really important because if the manager is actually responsible for getting the work done, then they may come to the group and lie about it. Right? They may come to the group and be like, oh yeah, everything's perfectly fine and going great when it's not. And that would just be terrible, right? So the manager themselves has oversight role. They're not responsible for the work directly. So therefore, there's nothing bad about reporting having a bad report, right? When a manager has a bad report, it doesn't affect them personally. As the manager position, they're just informing the team of the current status of the work under their purview. Okay?
Yes.
And then the responsibility is the team, right? So the whole team is responsible for figuring out how to fix the work, not the manager. The manager is just there to implement the policies and guidelines. All right, so I think we're good on the Mercury session. Any other questions about the management or the Mercury session itself? And again, it happens every 44 days, and today is the perihelion. So it's the moment that Mercury is the closest to the sun. Okay.
Okay.
And we are good on time. We are 1 minute over the topic.
Okay. So let's go on to the general manager position. So let's definitely get the link. So we need the link to the general manager position.
Okay.
So what is the general manager position? Is the general manager position a manager or a coordinator position?
It has all the information about the managers, regardless of which management are you doing.
Exactly.
Are you in?
Right. So the general manager position is just a general position for all managers. So anyone who's any manager position needs to understand the general manager position so that they know how to do their manager work.
I just linked it there.
I don't see it. It's not linked here on mine.
On primary topics.
You linked it up here?
Yeah.
I don't see it. Can you link it in the notes where we currently are under general manager position in the notes?
Okay.
So does anyone want to
I don't
just
see where we are. It is just.
What?
I don't see where we are now.
We're in the notes under general manager position. You can always go to the table of contents and you need to refresh it, but we are right here, general manager position.
Okay, good. There.
Great. So we already went over the general concept of what a manager does and why they do it. So it would be good to potentially index this if it's not already clear, like what is management? Are the manager responsible for getting work done? So that's really important. What a manager does, the roles of the manager. Each manager position should have clear role and description. Every manager position has its own doc, right? So this is very different than a responsibility just needs a link. So you can have dozens of responsibilities on a single doc, whereas a manager position needs its own dedicated individual doc. Okay, and then you want to creating the documentation describing and organizing the manager position. And you want to log down all the priorities of the position and then also all of the responsibilities within that position, right? Document the goals of the manager position. This is the most important thing. And then you want to compile the list of responsibilities. You want to be learning. You want interest in the program and organization that you're helping run. You want flexibility in communications with other workers. And you need to be available to attend meetings and know when topics are coming up. And then you also need to report to the management team at Mercury sessions. Okay? And this is a written report. So it's a required written report. Are there any questions about the basic criteria management for the general manager position?
Jay, I have one question. This is reporting. As far we only have to do it for Mercury session.
Yes. So managers are required to report once per Mercury session. So it's about every 44 days, about 1.5 months, every 1.5 months.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So what is the only other thing I'll ask right now is what is the difference between a coordinator and a manager?
Coordinator coordinates between 2 to 3 departments, 2 to 3, things, and he directly and he reports and he coordinates with the different managers, different workers, and sends the report to the general manager.
Okay, so there is no general manager, right? The general manager position is for all other manager positions. It's the same position.
Sorry, yes, yeah, okay.
So, but what you said about the coordinator is correct. The coordinator is coordinating between multiple managers and the workers, right? Whereas a manager, what does a manager do? So what's the difference between a coordinator and a manager?
Manager only manage one department.
Let's just say one specific program or system / process, etc. Okay, so for example, like the payroll manager for the FQN payroll manager, right? So FQN payroll, internal payroll manager focuses on the single process for FQN payroll, right? Whereas the payroll coordinator oversees 3 to 5 payroll processes for multiple organizations and within the network. Okay. So a coordinator can coordinate many managers. Okay, does that make sense? Whereas a manager doesn't managers don't oversee any other managers. They only oversee their own process or system or program. So it's definitely a little different. Like some in many places, the managers are the higher level than a coordinator. The reason why within the FCON community network, the coordinators are higher in rank is because we do everything the other way around. It's like, you know, the coordinator, you're the higher you go in the system, the less power you directly have, right? So we use the term coordinator because the coordinators aren't hierarchically controlling the managers, okay? All right.
So you mean to say that the coordinators are controlling managers?
No.
Somehow.
It's the opposite. The coordinators are higher in level, right? Because the coordinators oversee multiple managers, but they're not hierarchical, right? So many times you have a supervisor and then you have a manager that oversees the supervisors, and it's hierarchical, right? The coordinators, although they oversee and support the managers, they're higher level and therefore have less power. Okay?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So in our system, all the power is in the workers, right? The workers have the most power because it's bottom up. Our whole system's bottom up organizing, not top down control, right?
Yeah, but what if any worker is not happy with his or her manager? What is
the workers? The workers can just become the manager, right? If they want to step up and be a manager, they can. But the point is that the workers are the ones who are in control and empowered. The managers are just reporting back on what the workers are doing. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yes.
So in other words, and this is very important, so let me write it down. Managers are not required. All work and all workers can do their work and make decisions without a manager, right? We only need managers when the work is not getting done. Okay, does that make sense? So
makes sense.
Our model is that workers can self-organize without managers, right? That's the goal. So you get the work done. You don't need a manager to tell you what to do because you just get it done, right? That's how we should be. We should just get the work done. It shouldn't be about like, oh, I'm just gonna sit around and pretend to get work done and not actually finish any goals and wait for a manager to tell me what to do. Like that's not how we do things. Like the world is going to collapse and biodiversity is going to die and millions of species are going to die and potentially billions of people are going to die. We don't have time to sit here and wait for managers to tell us what to do. People need to take action directly themselves as workers, you know, here to help people and help the planet and help ourselves, right? We can't wait for someone to tell us what to do. Does that make sense?
So they can take their own initiatives as well.
Taking your own initiative is the name of the game. If we don't do that, we're screwed. Right? So when there is a problem, right, and work isn't getting done, we do prioritize the manager positions to manage what isn't getting done so that it's getting coordinated correctly. Okay?
Makes sense, yes.
Yeah, but we can only focus on a few manager positions at a time. There's always going to be way more work to do than we have manager positions. All right. Also, I'll note here that, you know, we do have manager bonuses. And we need to add this in. Need to add into the output. All right. So, and primarily this is also related to systems and processes and policies, you know, bonuses, which is also additional bonuses we need to add. So this is a task and a responsibility. Responsibility update output budget. Okay. Any other questions on the manager role, or are we good on that?
We are good on that, and we are 3 minutes over.
All right, so what's next? Management says external client update. So what's this? Who put this there? Does anyone have anything to say for the external client update, or any questions, or should we skip it?
For me, I have no idea even about external client updates.
I mean, for me, the only thing that I have to say is that, you know, we don't have client managers, which is a problem, major problem. And also, we don't have an bus manager or coordinator, right? And I think we're going to talk about some of that. So under our positions, see here, where's the positions? So we talked about, we said we have worker coordinator, client relations coordinator. So the client relations coordinator should be coordinating all the managers and getting the manager set up for each client. So each individual client should have its own manager, that's the client manager, and then the client coordinator is coordinating all of the different managers. Okay?
Yes, it makes sense.
So I think we'll go through that. Hopefully, if we just continue to move on. So let's just, are there any other questions on the external client update?
No questions from my side.
You know, overall, it's not good. Our client relations isn't good. It's problematic. And we're not getting the work done for all the clients. So I think we're ready to move on here. And Umbus coordinator, let's see where that currently lies. Umbus coordinator number 19. Okay. What's next? Client policy keeper accountability proposal. All right, I'm excited about this. So let's just start with the policy. And also we have a task here. I don't know if it got done. So create the new accountability policy protocols doc. So we need this doc, and we need to be able to link to it that indexes all of the new policies on our accountability. So the most important thing to understand about this proposal is it's the first time ever that we have a accountability policy that is that actually has negative outcomes, right? So it's like if you do, if you follow the policies, you get bonus. You get not bonus. You get gains. You gain value. You gain funds. You gain time. You gain everything, right? And if you actually create policies and update policies and help simplify them and make them better, you get bonuses. But if you don't follow the policies, then you actually get deductions. You get loss of value, loss of time, loss of money, lots of equity, etc. Okay. So quarter moon session. So I come to the table of contents, and after this, we gotta always remember to update the table of contents because we have lots of contents that don't get updated. And this is going to be the policies and procedures proposal. All right, and let's go to the proposal itself. It got passed by consensus, and there is a responsibility as well. And we needed to create all of these. We had all these tasks, and none of it happened. Not surprising. Okay, so the proposal is to pass the new accountability policy protocols, which both increase value equity budgets for following policies, as well as reduce value equity and budgets for not following policies. And it creates a new policy keeper, policy conductor positions. Are there any questions about the proposal?
no question on the proposal, and I'm going for yes. I read it.
Lucy,
Can we just delete the person's name who are not in the session, like Eileen?
no, it's this from yesterday's
No.
session.
We voted for that.
Because this is a very high level policy, so we want as many votes as possible. And we also have an additional thing here, which is need to do async voting and voting form for all decisions from the quarter, moon, and Mercury session. So this is another task that needs to be done. So Lucy, are you ready to vote? Do you have any questions, concerns about the proposal?
I have no question. Okay.
So you vote okay, or what do you vote?
Yeah, I vote yes, even it is there. You
Okay,
voted already.
Oh.
What can you see?
Oh, you voted up at the top. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so that's good. But so can someone volunteer to go through the create a new accountability policy proposals doc, and then to index all the information from the quarter moon session. Can someone do that? Because it's very important.
Then link that one. You link to where?
Here, I can link the quarter moon session, but we need to make sure that all the information from the quarter moon session is indexed so that we don't lose it. All right, so it goes over all the details for the new accountability policy protocols. Okay?
Okay.
And another task that's really important is we have real-time main session policies and process steps from the Andromeda main session from Thursday. So we need to index. So this is another very important policy that needs to be indexed. If someone could take care of that as well, that would be excellent. So as you can see, we have a lot of tasks that need to get addressed and dealt with. Priority tasks. Oh, look, someone already updated.
I will do all of these ones, Jay. I was to do yesterday, then Monty tell me to help him or help her on invoice.
On invoicing, great. Okay, cool. All right, so we're making.
I will go with Lucy. I will go with Lucy and help her out.
Okay, cool. All right, so we got our responsibilities updated. We got all our priority tasks updated. This looks great. Okay, so let's go on to just really quickly. So there's a new position, and we need to update the. Let's just do that right now so we don't forget. So we need to update the template voice session meeting notes. And we're adding a new section in here, which is for, instead of priority tasks, it's priority policies, okay? So as we need to track all the policies, organize all the policies, and keep them, you know, basically for every session, we want to track what policies that we successfully completed, what policies we attempted but didn't complete, and then what policies we did not complete. And then that determines how long our sessions can be. Okay? And we're tracking all the policies.
Okay, that means we are going to create the policy doc, right?
Well,
then
yeah.
we index all the information.
Well, we need to create a policy spreadsheet, right? So it's to track and document any and all policies for the network and the organization. So that's a responsibility, and so we're going to create a policy spreadsheet. Create policy spreadsheet to list any and all policies. And this actually we have a verification spreadsheet, and then the percentage completion of each policy. Okay, so it's like, are we following the policy or not? Cool. So I think that's pretty clear. And I basically, where I'm at with everything is like, if we follow the policies, everything will get done. Everything will be successful. If we don't follow the policies, we're going to continue down this track of just like falling apart and things not working out. Because right now we're not following the policies, and it's a big problem, and it's just causing more problems. Like, it's like you don't follow the policy, and then it causes more problems, and then you ricochet and you cause more problems from that, and it's just a mess, right? So we need to stop this let's like, you know, free for all, and just start honing in, get disciplined, follow the policies as closely as possible in every single session, every single buddy team session, every single thing until we get, you know, stabilized, because it's not looking good. All right, so any other questions about the new policy proposal?
No.
And there is another policy that we missed that we need to start doing in our sessions, which is ranking. It's the same as buddy team. So let me add that real quick to our template so we don't miss that. And then we have the new position. So this new position is the policy keeper / conductor. And also want to go through rankings. Where would that happen? Review. I feel like that would be, I don't know. I don't know where the best place to do this, but we should be reviewing rankings. Maybe it has to do with positions, you know, because the rank is the position. Okay. So we'll figure that out. All right, I think we're ready to move on. Any other questions or concerns over the policy accountability protocols?
No question from my side.
Okay.
Not from me.
Let's move on to the next topic. What's next? Policy become public launch. All right. Is there any questions about the public launch? The main thing for me is that so it's public launch. So I guess like the you know, the direction I'm thinking would be, you know, to postpone our public launch for 6 months to you know, longer. Maybe, I mean, we haven't never launched publicly. We're not ready. It's like, I don't think we're in any hurry. So for the Saturn session, as long, you know, let's just make sure we invite everyone in our network internally, and, you know, Facebook groups that we control. You know, if we just, you know, this is probably like 10,000 people or so. We just invite all the people that already exist within our network to the Saturn session. I think that's enough. So we don't need to go beyond that to the public. Mm-hmm. And we don't even have to do all 10,000. You know, if we could just get like the top 1,000 people involved, would be fine. And you know, our expectation is maybe like, you know, 20 people show.
Okay. Jay, you mean we invite people who are on if when like outsourcing, those who apply for the job on outsourcing, we invite them for certain session, right? We pick them from them.
Technically, we can invite whoever we want to, but it's not about who, it's about the list, right? So we have all the emails, all the contacts, people who are already interacting with us, and we just invite them to the Saturn session, but it doesn't have to be our public launch. Does that make sense? So we can do the Saturn session without a public launch.
Okay. We can even check on public
my suggestion. Yeah, exactly. But my suggestion is go through and review the best and low budget people on public ranking, so we can get them invite.
No, I mean, it really has nothing to do like getting the public involved and working with our membership and the people. It's not like it has nothing to do with the people who want to get paid to work. It's the organizations and the community leaders and working with the actual community, not people who just applied for the job and want to get paid. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you mean anyone can, can be invited?
That is where we get. Sorry, Asif.
Like the public rankings, it's like if somebody only wants to get involved because they want to get paid, they're not the person we're looking for.
No, we are not going to invite them for getting paid, just for one-time meeting.
No,
only.
That's not how it works. If you want to get paid, we have to pay you. You can't invite people who want to get paid and then not pay them. It's against our policies.
So I'm asking, so where are we going to get the people then if we are not going to use public ranking? Because that is where
we have tens of thousands of emails. We've got thousands and thousands of phone numbers. We have hundreds and hundreds of people in our networks that we organize dozens and dozens of programs and organizations and all these things. Like there's so many people, it's not even funny. Okay, so it's not, the issue is not the people. The issue is following the policies, getting organized, and actually having an outreach coordinator and a communications coordinator that does the work to actually get people informed that the session's happening. Otherwise, they're not going to show up. Does that make sense?
Now I got your point, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so there's no question about who the people are we're going to invite. And we don't care if people show up or not, right? If no one shows up, that's fine. But we have to invite them and give them the opportunity to come if they want to. Okay?
Yes. For me, my question is just only getting those contacts to invite them.
I know. That's the hard part. It's a lot of work to coordinate and all the databasing. In fact, I think it's a project. Let's see here. We go to our projects page. Yeah, databases and lists is so complicated. And tracking and coordinating all our databases and lists of contacts and people, it's its own project. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So if we want to prioritize that, we'll probably add it to our management positions, the database and contacts list coordinator.
Okay, do we have a template note for that, or someone just use his or her own words to invite them?
No, nobody's inviting anybody without it being coordinated through the policies, okay? That make sense?
Okay.
Good. Cool. All right, so I think we are ready to move on. So position, database, and list coordinator. So positions are pink.
4 minutes to be exact on the topic.
Okay, I think we're pretty much good for now. Where are our positions? Priority projects, priority positions. And then we also had these ones. These are good. And then there was other positions as well, or those other ones. These ones here. Yeah. So the priority responsibilities and priority tasks are kind of getting a little messy. Let's see if we can organize this all a little bit better real quick. So we just want to make sure that it's all, there we go. And then all of these need to get organized over, boom, that's better.
Okay, can I just check out, please, if by any means, because I have to rest for some work.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the session. It was, really pleasure. I'm sorry I cannot attend more because I have to go some work. And thank you. Thank you all. And best of luck for the session.
Thanks, Asif.
Thanks again. Thanks, everyone. Today I'll be meeting you in the Cobalt session, right? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So it's important to note here that we didn't follow our policies. So in our setup agenda, we were supposed to schedule and do our sessions, how long people have, etc. for the session, and we forgot to do that. So, and also we think we are at the 2-hour mark. We haven't done a single break. We haven't done anything. I mean, they were missing a lot of policies here. And again, if we don't follow our policies, we're going to have problems. So I don't know how to stress that enough. Does anyone have any other comments or no?
No.
Does anyone think it's a problem? Or you just don't care? Or, I mean...
No, don't care, really. We are okay.
No, we're not. If we don't follow the policies, we're not okay. That's my whole point. The fact that we're falling apart, our budgets are getting slashed, we're going to have to fire a bunch of people. It's like, it's not okay. We shouldn't be okay with that. Right? We need to follow the policies if we're going to actually be successful. So in terms of our policy, priority policies here, other things we didn't complete is we didn't complete the schedule. We also didn't do breaks, right? So we have 2 successful ones. So this would be plus 20 minutes, and this is not completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 50 minutes. So I mean, basically, we really should wrap up and get out of here. So like, let's see, the difference would be 30 minutes. So we're a 30-minute deficit right now.
So should we take the break now? Because we did not follow the policy before.
Well, that might be a good idea because we haven't taken any breaks yet. But I also would be okay proposing that we just wrap up and check out and call it a day. I mean, we made a lot of progress here. I think we pretty much finished going over everything for our setup, right? So I think our team setup is good. The next step would be going through our group team management goals and priorities for the next 1 to 2 months.
Okay. We can wrap up then if we don't have a very important topic that we should discuss. If there is, then we just take a break and come back.
Yeah, I mean, we lost Abdul, we lost Absif, you know, Shagimi, you know, as said, maybe a sentence or two. You know, Lucy, you just said that you think everything's fine and that, you know, you're not particularly worried about any of it. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm super tired. It's like literally the middle of the night, 4 a.m. If there's not a lot of interest, it's like, let's just check out and we can pick it up again in a month and a half, you know?
Okay.
You know, it's like a lot of people didn't even show up.
Better.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people didn't even show up. So, I mean, at some point, you know, something needs to change where we actually are engaged in like moving everything forward. But it's like if now is not the time, there's no reason to push it. Okay, so the next session. So let's quickly do a quick wrap up. So wrap up for our schedule. So I'm not sure when the next global session is, but the new moon session, new moon is in 1 week, and then there's also the day off, the 29th day of the session. So this is also an important task. We need to ask Zilu to prepare the announcement at the end of the week with the exact start time and stop time for the day off when no one is allowed to work. Okay? So the policy is on the day off. Nobody can work on the day off unless you have a specific self-assigned work that relates to the budget or the invoicing or anything to get prepared for the new moon session. And then the new moon comes up. And then tomorrow we have Andromeda and Cobalt. Andromeda and Cobalt. And is there anything else going on next week? I guess after that you would have Fulcrum. No, that Fulcrum on Sunday. So this is Saturday. Actually, this is Monday. Can you guys think of anything else in the schedule?
For next week, I think we just have all the sessions, main session for all the octans.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. And I guess we could quickly check the new moon.
We have 8th moon on Tuesday, our time. This is also on our side.
That's important. So Tuesday, you said 8th moon? 8th. Cool. So the 8th moon is the next global session. One of the things that's new for the 8th moon is preparing says the prioritization spreadsheet. There's some new policy coordination, and also want to make sure the co-chairs do a report. Okay.
So I'm asking about how do you call it? These guys who are the co-chairs. Are they the one assigning you tasks if you are going to attend that session?
If you attend the 8th moon session, the co-chairs are in control of the session and can assign anyone to do anything that they want done. I mean, they're the co-chairs. It's the 8th moon session. It's their session.
But like last session, they assign us to do the preparation for Mercury and
yeah.
Is it full moon?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that right? And what is their priorities then? If they assign us to do that?
Yeah, the
maybe they have something to work on as my priority. Then they send me something else. So
yeah, so the co-chairs are responsible for making sure that the midweek check-in gets done, that the preparation for the meetings get done, and then also they need to check in on all the issues and other problems that are going on within the organization. So you know, they can assign. They don't have to do that all themselves. They can assign other people to do that are available. Okay. And you get value.
Okay.
You get value for working on that. So it's good. So anyway, so I think our schedule's good. If we were following the policies, we would do additional wrap up. And we need to get wrap up on the bottom here.
Yeah, we need to get wrap up.
We're really bad at wrap up. So it's we would go through all the responsibilities and tasks. We would go through next steps, what we didn't talk about. We would do another 5-minute evaluation. So 5-minute evaluation, and this would be silence, right? And end of session positions, we would review the end of session positions. We went over our schedule, and then we check out. So anyways, if we were doing wrap up properly, we would do the whole wrap up. But I think we're okay just to check out. So any other last questions on anything?
No. Yes, last question. I'm asking, can I able to do the task that at my own time today, because I think the session is going on now for Joycey, but I don't want to attend it now. I want to do it later.
What session is going on with Lucy?
I
mean, with
Joycey budgeting session is now starting now, 3 our time, 3 p.m. our time.
Okay.
So I'm not planning to attend that. I'm planning to do this later.
And what exactly are you planning on doing?
I'm planning to make sure these assigned tasks that is that you put there. I was telling you I will do it. So do it for 2 hours later. Creating budget session, verification spreadsheet, leadership, all this. Creating all the policy verification spreadsheet. I want to do it later.
Okay, I think it's a high level priority. I think it's fine to, but it would just be a one-time self-driven responsibility. So you just do it this one time, and then that would be it. Okay.
Okay.
And also, if you need help, you can assign anyone to work with you.
Okay, I will just Skype on. I will be on Skype, and anyone who is available will work with me.
Well, I mean, again, it's not anyone. It's a specific person that you personally request to work with you. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's only one person, right? You can't just say like, oh, we're gonna have a big, huge buddy team, and everyone shows up and does whatever they want to. That's not what it is. Self-driven assigned responsibility. You get 2 hours or 1 to 2 hours to do it, and you can, if you need some help, you can request one person to work with you to help you work on it. You know. But it's not like an open for all, whoever wants to show up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and then you can report back on how it goes. But that's all very important stuff. So let's go ahead and check out Shigimi. You want to check out?
Thanks, guys, for this session. I'm glad that we're on emphasizing the policy. I think it would just be also a matter of clarifying to everyone what it all means, because as it looks like we have different understanding of the policy. So I hope the next session should be focused on that. Thanks, Jay, for all your hard work, and also Lucy. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Great, thanks, Shigimi. And I agree that we definitely want clarity on all the policies, which is part of what Lucy's going to be working on, is helping document and get it all organized. So, Lucy, do you want to check out?
Yes, it was really a great session. Every session I attend, I at least gain something, and I really appreciate you, Jay, for all hard work. You really persevere to work with us, even if it is late time. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you. And Lucy, I definitely want at some point to have a deeper discussion about Canopy and the schedule and the outreach for that, because I do feel like we need to step that up, because we're just losing so much potential money from that. It's just really sad that, there's so much opportunity and it's just passing us by, so it's like really sad. And like, instead of making money, we're firing people, right? So let's prioritize that in a future session and get that all moving forward and organizing. Just remember that me and you are like barely 1/10 of what we need. I mean, we need way more than just the two of us, right? It's a big project. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to check out. I thought this was a good session. I feel like overall we did about, I would say, over 50%, maybe 55% of the policies. I think this is one of our most organized sessions in terms of following the policies and actually accomplishing the work. And I think the best thing that we did during the session was spending the time to do our evaluation, our reporting, and our prioritization. I think that is huge. So even though we didn't get a chance to talk about the top positions, we know what they are. So now during our buddy teams and during our Newman session, other sessions, we can just prioritize these 5 positions. And if we prioritize these 5 positions and we get these done, everything else will work out. So it's just, we just need to prioritize the top positions and everything else falls into place. And so the first step to that is finding who the 5 people are who are going to take on these 5 positions. Okay? So let's make sure that we prioritize that. And I think that would be your role as the tactical coordinator, is to find people to fill these positions. Okay, Lucy?
Okay. Yes.
So, it's just a simple Skype message. These are the 5 top priority positions, and we need people to fill them. Actually, worker coordination is Abdul, right?
Yeah. Can I able to do system and processing?
That would be good. Yes, that's going to be super important. You're already working on that, right? So you're already working on that. Jorge and Suze, I think this might be Steve. Client relations coordinator. I don't know. Cool. All right, we are done. Good work. Excellent, excellent work. I will talk to you guys very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.